Matthew Stafford. Let's talk about the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is like such a simple solution. And I hear so many people talking about where could he end up? There's options and how much money is he going to take and where could he end up? Here's where I want to start. It's clear that Sean McVay's a fan. They won a Super Bowl together. McVay said this about a month ago. Take a listen.
You don't want to have that go on again. That's not so. I don't think that's good for anybody. I think sooner than later, being able to get that clarity, understanding, clear, open, and honest communication. I think there's a lot of love coming from our part. I think there's a lot of appreciation coming from his part as well. And a lot sooner than later is an ideal scenario.
Yeah, so Stafford and the Rams showing a mutual interest. McVay, they won a Super Bowl together. There's a legacy there. That makes sense. The question there is, how much money do the Rams want to give a 37-year-old quarterback who's, his skills are not going to be on the up and up?
You could say it, past his prime.
Past his prime.
That doesn't mean he's out of wins or he's out of gas, but he's past his prime. He's on the downside of a stellar career. Not on the upside.
Diana Rossini, friend of the show, love her. We saw her at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
She had Chase Daniels on her podcast, and they were talking about the type of money maybe Stafford could get if he stays with the Rams.
Matthew goes out, sees that there's no market for him at the price he wants, and the Rams say, all right, we'll bring it back for $40 million. Like, don't you think that's a fair
40?
number?
No. What? Diana, you're too much front office speak. $40 million is a travesty.
A travesty?
If he gets $40 million, I would, at this point, to be completely honest with you from a player's perspective, I would retire.
Get out of here.
I mean, I heard Jonas Knox right here on Fox Sports Radio talking about he's made $360 million.
Look at this right there. I wrote that down. 364.
That's not enough money. That's not a good enough little nest egg right now for him to sit on while he makes another 40 to play in the city he's already in.
Do you mean a Powerball jackpot?
Seriously. But the story today is, and I don't like it, because it seems that he's still buddy chummy with McVay. We tie things back to relationships. It's like you and your girlfriend think you're good, but then you see her on social media and she's bowling with some other guy. She's out. she's at the club with someone else. You're like, wait a second. I thought we were good.
Well, here's a developing story.
I thought we had an understanding.
A developing story, according to Jordan Schultz. Raiders minority owner Tom Brady recently hosted Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana, and they've been spending time together skiing and just chilling. Brady has been actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders, and here's why I think that is perfect.
Well, hold on. You know the other backstory, though? Ian Rappaport of NFL Media reacted to the report by explaining that Brady and Stafford ran into each other at the ski resort in Montana, that it was an unplanned meeting, not some sort of extensive or in-depth meeting that Brady was hosting, that he wasn't recruiting Stafford. And it's like, get out of here. That is BS. That's some BS your girlfriend would tell you when you saw the social media post of her and the dude at the club.
We just bumped into each other.
It was total coincidence.
I didn't know he was
there
gonna
with
be
his
there.
friends, and I went with my friends.
Well, look at it this way, Cove. Who knows more about what an aging quarterback has left in the tank than a guy that won when he went to the Bucks post 40? TB12. So
but not everybody has the conditioning of an older TB12.
Can I give you the...
Not everybody's Tom Brady.
Can I give you the quick bullet points I wrote down why I think this makes perfect sense?
What do you mean? Perfect sense for him to be a Raider?
Yes.
I think it would make more sense for him to keep his ass where he is right now.
Matthew Stafford to the Raiders makes perfect sense. Dare I say, almost Kurt Hennig perfect
I would
sense.
say maybe if not where he is right now, if not with the Rams.
Listen.
The Raiders.
I live in Woodland Hills. The rich people neighborhood down the block that have a way higher tax bracket, that's called Hidden Hills. Matthew Stafford has an estate. He has a beautiful house. His wife has her podcast studio. His daughters are involved in the community. One of his kids goes to my daughter's dance studio. They live in Southern California. He's 37, living the dad life. They have a beautiful home. He's a Super Bowl champion. He spent over a decade in Detroit. No offense, Detroit. I know we got a big station there.
Hey, it's on the up and up.
And the guy's 37. He's going to be on Quarterback Season 2 on Netflix. He maybe got that taste of the Hollywood bug. How quickly do you and I get from Burbank Airport to Las Vegas, Nevada?
Oh, in like 12 minutes.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah.
There's no drink service. Up and down, 35 minutes. You know that little Van Nuys Airport right down the block here? Little private jet?
Yeah,
Vegas might as well be Orange County. Matthew Stafford could play for the Raiders 1 to 2 years, and it would almost be like playing here in Southern California. Tom Brady, fresh start, looking for a face. Maybe you draft Shedeur Sanders, and he learns behind Stafford. This makes so much sense to me. Danny G, because you were talking about maybe Sam Darnold. No, Matthew Stafford, you might be able to compete
what's
for
he
real.
What's he gonna get from the Raiders if he was gonna get $40 million from the Rams?
I'm saying even if it's the same money.
Then why move at all?
Because
I
the
understand- hold
Rams,
on. Let me
got
explain.
rid of the Rams like Cooper Kupp go.
So they got Puka Nacua.
No, but the Rams might be in more of a
rebuilding
phase at this point. And Matthew Stafford.
And you think the Raiders are like going to win all of a sudden? Hold on, though. I completely agree. I just want to make it clear. I agree with Rich if the Rams are out of the question for whatever reason. Like, he just doesn't like the direction they're going. He thinks his time's expired there. He had a fight behind the scenes with somebody. He's being mistreated, whatever. Okay, so I get it because it's such an easy trip from Vegas to L.A. Lifestyle reasons. His family's here. It's a quick flight. I get it. But why not just stay with the Rams? I haven't heard.
That's an option.
I think
right?
that's the better option.
And I'm not saying that's not an option. I'm saying Matthew Stafford to the Raiders just makes so much logistical sense for a veteran of 37 years old. If he was 24 and he had another decade plus in the league, I'd say explore your options. But
unless the power of Brady kicks in, where he's so enamored to be skiing with Tommy. And
they're sipping hot cocoa
right.
at the lodge.
Like to be in partnership with such a winning sort of culture that Brady's trying to create. I mean, Tom Brady has a resume. It's Tom Brady. It maybe that has so much pull on him that we don't even know.
I'm insinuating.
We often use the word glamored. You know where we got that from? Maybe he's so glamored by Tommy that it's more of a reality than we think. We got glamored from True Blood. Remember the show True Blood, where the vampires had such a power over mere humans?
Like you'd look at them and you'd
they
be
would
like,
glamour them.
almost
They said glamoured them. So maybe Tom is really glamouring this dude. Otherwise, the best option from the outside looking in is to stay in L.A. where his family is.
Dude, outside looking in, yeah, Rams clearly the easiest option. But I'm saying anything other than the Vegas Raiders, retirement almost seems like the best option. But if you want to keep playing, do you think he wants to go play for the Giants or move across the country? I'm telling you at this stage of the game, because I'm living a similar life without the hundreds of millions of dollars, he's got little kids. He's at his forever home. He's in Hidden Hills, the nicest neighborhood in the valley.
By the way, he came here because he wanted his family to live here.
And guess what? His wife is happy.
Right.
His kids are, again, in their school system and everything going on. This is not 37 years old. You're going to pick up the fam bam doozle, as you call it. You're going to pick up the family and move. Vegas is a half-hour private flight away. It makes sense. Danny, you are the Raiders fan. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, the wild card in this is how quickly, if Pete Carroll can get the program turned around in Las Vegas. But in his past, we've seen him do it at USC, of course. We've seen him do it in Seattle for DB Seahawks. And in a 12-month calendar, this guy can turn an entire program around. We've seen him do it before. It still remains to be seen for LV, but if he can at least get the Raiders moving in the right track, and what would be, I think, a selling point for Brady to Stafford is, dude, you get to throw to the best tight end in football all of a sudden. You got Brock Bowers. You got an underrated receiver in Myers. We're going to add some more pieces in the draft. Also, that would open up things maybe to draft Genty, a cash cow running back at number 6, and then top of the second round, maybe get a guy like Jackson Dart to sit and learn behind a Stafford.
And I'm sure there's some allure of being wooed by Tom Brady. I believe that.
But Covino, what about
He's
the idea?
Tom Brady, and this would be one of his first big gets.
But what about the idea also of there's some big name free agent or wanting to be traded wide receivers in the National Football League. So if you're telling the football players of the NFL, oh, the Raiders now they got Pete Carroll, Tom Brady's overseeing it. Wow, Matthew Stafford. We saw what Brock Bowers did last year. There's a lot lining up where the Raiders start to become a desirable place for a free agent to go or a receiver that wants to be traded on the move. I mean, like a Deebo Samuel who's like, I'm done. It seems like he's done with the Niners. There's places, it's a tough division. That's the only rub. That means you got to be better than Bo Nix and Sean Payton. You got to be better than the defending AFC champions.
Here's what I need to know,
You have to be better than Harbaugh and
I feel like
Harvard.
Mark Anthony, Rich. I need to know.
I need to know.
To have a really
need to
full
know.
assessment of how I feel about this. I agree. The best two options would be either to stay in LA or go to Vegas, which was a quick flight. He wouldn't have to change his lifestyle. He gets to keep his own house. But I would need to know, is he just chasing the bag here? Or does he really believe that the Rams are on the decline and the Raiders are on the incline?
Yeah, I'm just saying if the Rams don't work out, you have to have an option too. And I think this is pretty sweet. You know what you said to me recently?
What?
We were in Vegas doing a fight night for Fox Sports Radio. And you joked like, yo, bro, wouldn't it be cool to do like every Friday show here? You know why you said that? Because it's so damn easy to get to Las Vegas
It really is.
from Southern California that you and I, regular doofuses flying Southwest, get there in 35 minutes.